Hello, Medicine Tribe. In this video, I would like to speak to your personal relationship and mine to power and the power structures that are on the planet. Many people have this severe disharmony within themselves where you feel like you wish to cultivate love, yet you also feel like you wish to dissolve the power structures that are on planet Earth, because the power structures are pretty messed up. And the people that are in power are, well, not very loving. So how can I, as a person, choose to integrate my love in a place where it's going to remove power from the institutions that I feel disharmony with, right? Discord within my beingness? Well, the interesting thing that I've come to on my journey is not that there's going to be any benefit in trying to express any antithesis to power on this planet. So let's say one of the simplest expressions would be, this person is the politician that I don't agree with, so you could run against them. And inevitably, through that process, you may be like, okay, well, this has a lot more to do with it than I would have ever thought. And, it takes a certain type of person to want to actually do this. And then maybe we surrender into the idea that the people that are playing those roles for a reason. They're not roles that most people actually want to play. You have to actually be interested in power to fit into that niche group or that thing that they're doing. So maybe the other alternative is, okay, well, maybe we should protest. We're going to make them know what we want. And then we hang out with the people that are part of the protests and we go, a lot of these people are pretty angry. And go, okay, well, there's this whole other group over here. Maybe you've seen protests where they're very, very peaceful. There still is something built within this process of trying to remove power from people that are in a position of power. And us not at a really core level trusting in the ability to love. So many people are literally vying for power, not knowing that this is just creating a stronger disharmony in the collective. On planet Earth, we are all one thing. Humanity is one thing. We have our individual expressions of it, but the understanding of, if I am loving day to day, as loving as possible, I put all of my effort in towards being loving, not seeking how to dissolve power structures, because inevitably, if I seek to dissolve power structures, I will lose. Look on the entire planet Earth. This does not exist. It does not exist for a reason. Because power, always, if a being is seeking power as an individual creator, they'll get power. You're seeking to make sure that they don't get power is not strong enough. Their seeking for power is far stronger than your seeking to dissolve them of power, even en masse. Because people that are in power, they know how to work with power. So if there's individuals on the other spectrum that are sharing love and sharing in their position of, what can I do day to day to give more love and do my best to have conversations when I see someone being extremely separate or segregative, to be bringing more understanding. I can practice understanding of others and help to stand on the side of understanding. That is not a powerful role. That is not a role that is going to overtly dissolve power structures. However, it will inevitably influence them. And this is something we have had a really hard time as humans understanding: the power of love. The power of love is in our day-to-day actions. It is how we choose to interact with people. These ripples are not small, they're massive. That's part of why the media is constantly making us scared, making us worried, making us feel things that are anything other than, oh, let's understand each other. Let's understand how we got into this situation. Let's create understanding. It's about let's create separation. And in that separation, well, it's much easier to be in a position of power. Like, sincerely, that is the goal. The goal of power is to have people essentially fighting for it. That's part of that game. Just like the goal of love is to have people laughing and smiling together and understanding each other and feeling heard and really healing at a deep level these wounds that ancestrally have been just plaguing us for eons. Just from the simplest understanding that I'm mad at this guy, and therefore the answer is to remove that person from power, kill them, whatever. The greatest protest that any human being can ever do is the protest of where you put your energy. That is protesting to the strongest degree. If you watch videos that fill your cup and make you feel more understanding, and you exercise that understanding, you exercise a reflection of self, that removes power from power structures like you have no idea. Because then every individual is rippling that same energy. Eventually, of course, it's not going to be automatic. And this isn't wishful thinking. This is the mechanics of love. How do we know this? Well, they would not be in a position, the people that are in power, trying to invoke fear in us. They would not be trying to invoke fear if, well, they could just invoke love. Be like, why wouldn't they just invoke love and then they're in a position of power? Because that would remove the power. Power has a game. It needs resistance, and it needs fear, and it needs separation. So if we try to attack that or go against that, that's exactly what power needs to get more power. This is a big one. This is a very big one. One that I've been contemplating and really trying to understand. Because through human history, for so long, you look at, there's power, there's people that take down that power, and then a new institution arises. This is all over the place. And this is something that, even if that were to take place, the influence of the love that you exercise day to day would influence that institution that ends up taking over the current power structure. It's influential on all levels. It's influential of how each individual in a society treats each other, influential of how a family dynamic is perceived. And if we mirror a beautiful family to another family, that influences behavior. It influences what we perceive family to be. Because if we see it as only conflict, and if we see the beings that are in power as something that we need to overthrow, we are in a state of struggle. That struggle keeps us evolving, it keeps us growing, it keeps us in movement. But movement towards what? That which we express begets more of itself. So when we choose to remove ourselves from a place of struggle, resistance, and fighting against, well, it will not beget more of itself. We will focus our attention towards how to understand the people that are in our lives, how to understand the people closest to us, how to do our best to, instead of articulating why the power structures are so bad, why we should understand why they're in place. We should understand each other. We should understand everything that we possibly can, which will remove all of that energy that is anxious and intense and resistant and wants to fight. And if we can permeate that to each other, to our brothers and sisters on all parts of the globe, this is a power like we have not known before. It is real. It is available to us. And if you have any questions about it, please leave them in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope this video served you. See you in the next one.